Hey guys, so as promised, I am bringing you a SMR or self-myofascial release or foam rolling as everyone likes to call it video and how to do it properly. So this is a piriformis stretch, which is sort of a small muscle on the back side of your hip, like that kind of covers over the top of your sciatic nerve. And sometimes you'll feel it get really, really tight. Sits kind of like under your glute muscle. And this feels super good. So you want to cross that leg over and then sort of lean into the side that is crossed. And then we're going to move into one of my favorites, which is the hammies. My hamstrings are pretty much constantly a little bit sore because I focus really hard on building them. I'm so quad dominant that everything I do, I have a super strong hamstring and glute mind muscle connection because my quads get worked so hard, as an assister anyway, that I don't focus super hard on them. But this guy feels so good if you are sore at all in your hamstrings. Then we are going to move on to calves, which are super important, especially for my girls who wear heels. I used to wear heels a lot working in an office, and it knots up those calves so bad. So the main thing you want to think about here is, if you notice I'm doing all this super slowly, you'll watch people in the gym just like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth super fast, and that's not at all helpful. It takes 30 seconds at least of consistent pressure on the most sore spot to release that tension. So you want to roll slowly until you find the most tender or sore area. Hold that pressure for at least 30 seconds and then release it out. And this will also feel super good if you do a lot of lifting and stuff like that and then do yoga. You'll notice how sore the groin area gets. This feels so good. So roll slowly until you feel the most pressure and then hold that spot for at least 30 seconds. Like I said, that's super important. It takes 30 seconds at least for those muscles to relax. So every time you see someone doing this super fast, it basically negates the entire purpose of the self-massage, right? If it takes that long for your muscles to relax and all you're doing is going over them back and forth super fast, you're essentially not getting the benefits of doing it at all. So you want to really take your time here. And if you only have a little bit of time, then only do your sorest muscles. Of course, this is extreme and I'm doing, pretty much mostly my whole body. But that's just to give you the idea of how it works. So when those muscles get all knotted up and they're super tight, it takes at least 30 seconds. Hold it for 60 if you want to, for them to relax. And we're going to move on to back, which is my other favorite place to foam roll because I carry a lot of tension in my upper back and my traps, especially in my right side. So I'm pretty consistent about rolling up here, and you can kind of play around with like your arm placement, and what feels good, as long as you're not creating any crazy curvature of your spine, which is dangerous, and we don't want to do that. But sometimes you'll move around a little bit and catch a spot or feel a spot that you didn't even know was sore or knotted up, and you'll feel like, oh my gosh, and you stop right there, hold it for a minute or so and release, and it'll feel so much better, especially later that day or the next day. It's amazing how effective this can be if it's done properly. And you really want to take your time here, guys. I can't stress that enough. It drives me bonkers when I watch people do this and just like flying all over the place. That's totally defeats the purpose. And if you get the physiology behind it and you understand why your muscles contract and then release, and understand that it takes actual time for them to release, then trust me, you'll take your time and do this slow. This one also feels awesome if your back is sore. This one hits your lats really good, but also gives your pecs a nice good stretch, which often for me, if you do like a lot of push-ups or something like that, feels so good. So again, find the spot. That's why you'll see me moving back and forth pretty slow to see if there's anything that needs like specific attention or anywhere that's getting caught up that I feel like, ooh, maybe that's the spot. And I will sit and feel that out, hold it there, get the stretch, get the muscle release, and then switch sides. And last but not least, we're going to go back to some legs, and my quads don't always have a lot of tension. So I sometimes won't spend much time here, unless I find a spot that like is really tender or hurting. I'll kind of just feel it out. And again, I was going to say something about, a lot of people think this is for like lactic acid buildup. And that's actually debatable. I've read quite a few things lately also that basically postulate that it's not actually even lactic acid that's building up. And even if it was, it's a different compound that our muscles release. And even if there were lactic acid, it's actually aiding in your muscle recovery. So it's not necessarily even a bad thing. And that's not necessarily even what makes us sore. So aside from the fact that rolling quickly doesn't actually benefit that, that's not even necessarily a reason to do it. The best way to look at foam rolling, essentially, in my opinion, is as like a massage. And if you've ever had a massage or a masseuse that went like super fast, then they're not a very good masseuse. Most of the time they go really super slow. And if they find a spot where either you react from pain or from whatever, or they find a spot of tension, they spend some time on it and apply pressure for a significant amount of time, enough consecutive time, at least 30 seconds. I'm going to slap that into your brain, to get your muscle to release. It will feel so good. I promise you'll feel awesome the next day. It's so worth it. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. Next time you go in and get at it, hopefully you give this a try and it helps you out. So if you have any questions, ask below or request for videos, and I'll see what I can get to. So have a good day. Thanks for watching.